Oi, parallel parking. Two words that struck fear into my heart the moment I started driver's ed. The saboteur that caused me to fail my driving test. Twice! Well, now that I'm a little older and I have much more driving experience under my belt, let me share some of my tips with you so that you're cruising and parking in style. Okay, no guarantee on style, but definitely in comfort. Let's start off with the easy stuff. The stuff you probably take for granted or just fallen into the habit of forgetting to do if you've been driving for a while. Like adjusting your seat. This should be the first thing you do when getting behind the wheel. Making sure your seat is positioned the best way for your body will make driving safer and less exhausting, even on short trips. You want to adjust the height of the seat so that you can see the dash panel and the road clearly. If you happen to be a bit on the shorter side and can't see over the dash even after doing everything the seat will allow, get a cushion or wedge to sit on. As for the seat's incline, keep it at about 100 to 110 degrees. I know it looks super cool when you're leaning way back like a boss, but again, comfort and safety over style, folks. The headrest should be adjusted so that your head is right smack dab in the middle of it. This will help prevent a bad neck injury in case of an accident. Next, mirrors. Starting with the driver's side, once your seat is adjusted, lean left and get as close to the side window as you can. Then adjust the mirror until you can see the rear fender. Once you're sitting correctly, you should just barely see the side of the back bumper. Moving on to the passenger side mirror, here you want to stay in the driver's seat and lean to your right until your head is just about in the middle between the two front seats. Now adjust this mirror so that you can see the back fender too. Again, when you move back to a normal driving position, you should just get a glimpse of the side of the rear bumper. Finally, we get to the rear view mirror. I know, it's beginner stuff, but this mirror gets bumped and repositioned all the time. It's always a good idea to take just a second to adjust the rear view mirror and make sure it shows a perfectly centered view of your back window. One last thing before we get to the parking tips. Hand positioning. I can't stress enough how important this is. There's no beverage worth sipping, no text worth texting, or song worth skipping that's more valuable to your safety. Well, maybe Neil Diamond's Porcupine Pie, but that's it. Jokes aside, make sure you can clearly see all the instruments on the dash and have at least a foot of space between it and your body. Your hands should be slightly lower than your shoulders and placed on the wheel at 9 and 3. Oh yeah, the old steering wheel clock analogy? Imagine the wheel like the face of a clock, not the digital kind on your phone, but the old-fashioned analog types. Ask your grandpappy about it. Left hand at 9, right hand at 3, and there you go. You might prefer 8 and 4, and that's okay too. Just remember that the old 10 and 2 position they used to teach is no longer the go-to, because in the event of an accident, the airbag can send your hand shooting right into your face. And what sounds like the most epic facepalm ever is pretty serious. You can break bones. Alright, Brightsiders, on to parking. Cue the horror music. Okay, before we get to the ultimate challenge of parallel parking, let's start with 45-degree parking. You need this trick whenever you pull into a parking lot and the spots are kinda slanted, hence the whole 45-degree thing. First, make sure you're going down the aisle the right way. The spots should be slanted down toward you, not away from you. Hey, I've seen people try to park their car after coming in from the wrong direction, and it's an embarrassing struggle to say the least. Next, move to your left as far as you can. Keep moving until your right side view mirror is lined up with the left tail light of the car on your right-hand side. After that, turn the wheel to the right and pull into the spot. You might have to straighten it out a bit, especially if you have a longer vehicle. The next level up from that is perpendicular parking. This is kind of similar, but the parking spots aren't angled. They're your typical straight-line variety. Again, start off by getting as far to the left as you can. Watch out for incoming cars first. The further you are to your left, the easier it's going to be. Align your right side view mirror with the right line of the parking spot. Then cut the wheel to the right and pull in. Turn the steering wheel to the left and straighten the car. If you follow the right mirror with right line trick, you shouldn't have to back up and straighten the car out too much. Next up, backing into a parking space. I feel like there are two types of parkers in this world, those who pull in and the ones who always back in, and that one guy named Peter who walks around in a spider costume. You know, Peter Parker parked a pod of prickly Priuses. Which type are you? I'm probably a little bit of both, depending on the circumstance. Anyway, first locate the spot you're going to back into and drive 2 spots past it. Then, and this is crucial, make sure drivers around you know what you're about to do. Flip on your blinker, and before going into reverse, make sure to look out for oncoming vehicles from the front and approaching ones from the back. Check your mirrors. They're nice and adjusted for you now, right? And make sure everything's clear. You can now throw her in reverse. Now turn your steering wheel to the right and slowly accelerate backward. Continue moving back and start to straighten the steering wheel as soon as your rear wheels are in line with the parking spot. Keep checking those mirrors so you don't hit any cars next to you. Once you get yourself aligned in the spot, straighten your steering wheel and continue backing up until the front of the car is lined up with the others in the row. Also, be careful not to continue in reverse so you don't crash into the curb or parked car behind you. Finally, put her in park and you're good to go. And last but not least, drumroll please. The type of parking that studies have actually shown 3 out of 10 drivers will park over a mile from where they need to be just to avoid having to do it. It's even an actual condition. Parallelophobia, the fear of parallel parking. First things first, make sure the spot you want to park in is one your car will fit into. You want no less than 1.5 times the length of your car. Found a spot? Good, here we go. Drive forward until your car is next to the one in front of the parking spot. We'll call it car number 1. Now look over your right shoulder through the lower corner of your back window and drive backward in a straight line. Once you can see the back of car number 1 in the right corner, turn the wheel to the right and slowly begin to back your car into the space. Look into the left side mirror when you can see the full front of the car behind the spot, and I'll dub this one car number 2, original I know. Now, straighten out the steering wheel and back the car in a straight line. Using the right side mirror, when you see the taillights on car number 1, turn the steering wheel left and you should be moving into the parking space. Check your nerves, breathe, you got this, and park your car parallel to the curb, giving car number 2 and yourself enough room to drive out. Again, if your vehicle isn't a standard size, you'll probably need to drive a little further before you start getting lined up. Now, was that really so hard? Yes, it was. But once I took parallel parking seriously and practiced a lot, I had it down pat. And wouldn't you know it, 3rd time was the charm and I got my license. I think I remember angelic music playing when they handed it to me, but that could just be my imagination. It's your turn now. What's something you were always afraid to learn to do? Let me know down in the comments. If you learned something new today, then give this video a like and share it with a friend. But hey, don't burn rubber taking off just yet. We have over 2,000 cool videos for you to check out. All you have to do is pick the left or right video, click on it, and enjoy. Park yourself on the bright side of life.